Result, obviously very important. I think the work that the guys are putting into it, it doesn't always come with a result, right? And it's really nice when it does, because it gives you that added boost, that added confidence, that proof of concept that I've talked about before. So, yeah, it's an important result. It puts us back, within touching distance of the playoffs, which is the first goal. But more than that, I thought it was a resilient performance, because in the first half it wasn't pretty. I've talked to the guys. There's more than one way to win games, and keeping a clean sheet in that first half when they kind of came at us for maybe 15-20 minutes in the middle of that first half was important, and then we can make some changes in the second half, some ideas. Guys looked really good that came in. I thought the two subs at halftime were pivotal in kind of what changed in the second half. And again, shutouts. If you get shutouts, you're going to get more often than not, you're going to get results, and you're going to get a lot of wins. And so the defense has been resilient. 11 guys working to make it tough to get to Kendall's goal. And at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing for us is just the continuing moving forward with the ideas, feeling more confident, more comfortable, the chemistry with the players, and I think we're still seeing that, and there's, again, so much room for growth. So all in all, a very positive result with, again, the best thing after a win is that there's things to work for. So still many things to get better at and improve in, but it was a really good performance in the second half. Lost in the mix a couple of these games, not being able to have that conversation early a lot of times, especially home games. Guys have people that they want to see, right, and whatnot, and then it takes a while to get everybody in the locker room. So it's been something that I've enjoyed doing with the players on the field. One, I think it does have that kind of sense of a team huddle, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. Getting together and being together and being one team and fighting for whatever it is that we just fought for 90 minutes and being on the same page. So it's obviously great when it's a win. It's an easier conversation. Being able to have that conversation, kind of, give the guys my feedback, my quick 2 cents, after the game, and how we're moving forward from there, so that everybody's in the same mindset. So it was great to have that. Then go see the fans afterwards. It's always an easier conversation after a win. I would say that last week was bigger for him, where he was so involved in so many things that we did. He was at the epicenter of all our good movements last week, and he created the 2 assists to the goals. Of course, goals gives you, confidence. It gives you, it just motivates you more, I think, in a really positive way in sports, where you almost can't get that in any other situation in life, that it just so like quick to give you that added boost, where maybe 1 week you're not feeling like you're at the top of your game, and then 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 good game is just everything that you needed, right? And so I've seen Panos put in a ton of work in these last 5 weeks that I've been here. It's not easy, and I give, again, it's not just Panos, it's the guys, a lot of credit. I've been very impressed with how quickly they picked up on ideas, and Panos being able to find the right places on the field, the right pockets. He's getting into dangerous areas where he can do the things that he can do, right? And not everybody can do the things that Panos can do. So how can we get him in the right areas? How can we get him the ball in those areas of the field? And he's starting to find that success. And again, proof of concept is something that's huge for players, right? You start seeing something work, you're going to believe in it more. And belief is a very powerful thing. So these guys are, I think they're going in the right direction, and I'm really excited to keep working with them.
Thank you, sir.
Just where he's receiving the ball on the field, right? I think that there's, every player has qualities. Now, you have to utilize those qualities that can benefit the team, and you also have to find how those qualities fit in with what the team needs. Sometimes it's not easy, right? And in the first couple games that I was here, I was struggling to find a way to, how do we involve Panos in the best way? And one conversation that I had with him that was, I think a really big conversation between me and him is, I need you central. I need you to be more central. I need you to be patient, and the ball will find you. And maybe we haven't gotten yet to the point where we feel confident enough as a team to build from the back three into the midfield two, and then find pockets of space for our tens. So it's hard to kind of, I can totally relate as a player in his position where I would get antsy and I'm like, hey, give me the ball. If you can't give me the ball, I'm going to come get it, right? So it was one of those conversations that I'm asking him for a leap of faith a little bit. Trust in what we're trying to get to. And I think that in the Monterey Bay game, he was excellent in where he was on the field. And thankfully, we were able to find him in those areas of the field, and he was able to find success. I think now he's starting to see, how dangerous he can be, because the qualities that he has with his left foot, I mean, the ability to shoot that we saw today, the ability to pass that we saw last week. Once you have those two, weapons, and you're getting the ball in dangerous areas, you're inevitably going to get chances to score. So it's been great to work with him, and it's fun to work with a player like that. And obviously I have a lot of experience in that area of the field, and so I can relate to him in so many ways. Look, it's a great question. I think, again, going almost back to the last answer and question, you have to find out how to utilize players, right? But they have qualities. And the guys that we have on the field have very innate defensive qualities. I mean, Kai is one hell of a defender. Hack is one hell of a defender. Gagi is one hell of a defender. You get guys that are committed to what we're trying to do. And more importantly, as a coach, you give them a clear, concise message as to what it's supposed to look like. They're going to go out and perform. That's what they do. That's who we are, right? We're athletes. We're guys that on the biggest stages tend to light up when we know what we're trying to do. And again, it's simple-minded to just say those three guys, because defending is a team sport, right? And so the ability that we have from back to front, I mean, again, going back to a guy like Panos, I thought he did excellently in the pressing, the immediate pressing, and making guys accelerate what they want to do with the ball on the Detroit backline. And so it makes it easier for everybody behind. Where's that ball going? Well, it can only go in one direction in that moment. So I do think that everybody's bought into the defensive part. And then you have, a top goalie in Kendall, another top goalie in Rafa. And so if we can limit the amount of chances and good chances that we, allow the other team to create, then those guys are going to have our backs in those moments as well. I still think it's early. I do. I think that they understand everything that we're trying to implement, but you also, like I said, I think the most important thing is that you start, just like building a building, the foundation. You need the simple, big pieces that everybody can understand, and you got to build towards, whatever the World Trade Center or the Empire State Building, whatever. All these big buildings where you get to the tippy top. You got to, put the pieces slowly. And I do think there's so many things that we can continue to work on and continue to do, but the big foundational pieces are set. I think guys understand what we're trying to do, how we're trying to do it. I was really impressed with, going back to our last game against Monterey, the last 15, 20 minutes were not what we wanted it to look like. These last 5, 10 minutes was, not only did we get the second goal, but we continue to play. We don't give up too many chances. We don't let them into our box, right? We consider our 18-yard box our home, where our wives are, our kids are, our girlfriends, our parents. We don't want anything coming in there, right? And so they did a fantastic job of protecting that area of the field, being composed, not running all over the place defensively, trusting what everybody's job is within that structure. The only thing that's now missing is, can we turn that into a third goal and a counterattacking moment? But we were looking for it, it didn't come, but again, we did an excellent job of closing down shop and making sure we didn't suffer in those last few minutes. So again, on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't know, maybe a 3 or a 4. I think we're in a good spot in the roster. I'm not gonna, be at the forefront of those conversations. Maybe I'll be a part of the conversation when I talk to guys like Jordan and Nana. But at the end of the day, I believe in the roster that we have. You can always try and improve, right? You should always be looking for what potential guys are out there that fit what we're trying to do, the system, the player profiles that we're looking for. I do think that with an understanding, a higher understanding of what we're trying to do and what the players are capable to do in that system, it starts becoming a little bit easier, where somewhere where we might be able to improve on. But right now, man, I don't have any real requests. I'm enjoying working with these guys. I'm still getting to know a lot of these players on and off the field, and I think we have more than enough in this roster to be very competitive in this league. Yeah, I think that every single game within Western Conference is going to be pretty much a 6-point game, right? Whether you play the last place team or the first place team, it is so tight in there. So every game is a 6-pointer. Doesn't change anything that we're trying to do, right? I think we're still trying to grow within our own identity and not so much worry about, man, you know, what if we win? What if we lose? What if we tie? What does that mean in the grand scheme of things? We're how many games into the season are we now?
Exactly halfway.
15. So we got another 15 games to go. So of course, every game matters, and even more so when you're playing against a Western Conference team that you're fighting for positions. But at the end of the day, the focus is on our group. What can we do to get better? What can we do to reemphasize the things that we've shown strength in? And we continue to build, man. It's exciting. It's fun to work with these guys, and I can't wait to get back on Tuesday and keep working on the things that we still, have ways to go. Yeah, man. Today was a huge game for him. I'm so glad I didn't make the decision to bring him out at halftime because I thought he struggled in the first half, and I was worried with the yellow card. He's a young player, and I don't want to put him in a bad position. And so I decided we're going to test him, right? Can he not only up his performance from the first half, but can he play on a yellow card and not take any risks? And it was an extremely mature performance from him. I don't know if we get that first goal without him in there. He was the one that cleaned up the play for panos. He was excellent in the second half. One of our best players in the second half, playing on a yellow card as one of the young kids. He is a guy that's got a hell of a future in front of him. I think he's got a lot of soccer in him, a lot of soccer IQ, the ability to get out of tight spots. He's a very coachable player, quick learner. I have nothing but positive praise for him. And again, another guy that is exciting to work with and coach and continue to, get him to where I think his level can be, which, I don't even know where it is actually, but the potential just keeps on rising. So it's great to work with a kid like that.
Perfect.